Right. Good afternoon, everyone. What is the last concept? What is it? SDLC models. Okay. Online students, as the screen is visible. Online students can respond in the chat window. All the online students can respond in the chat window. And all the online students, make sure that you are filling with the details in the link. From tomorrow or day after tomorrow, your meeting ID will be changing it. All the online students, make sure that you are filling with the registration form. From tomorrow or day after tomorrow, you need to be joined from the Narisha IT app only. Your meeting ID will be changing it. Okay, right. Right. Let's complete on that SDLC models, right? Okay. Let's complete on this. The one we have been taking care about, SDLC process, right? The very first thing we got understanding about how we can implement this particular SDLC process. To implement this particular process, as simple as taking with SDLC. Meaning of SDLC? Okay. As part of SDLC, what is the first step? Requirements gathering. After that, what is it? Requirement analysis. After that, which you will be taking with design. After that, coding. After that, you will be taking with testing. After that, live environment or considering the production. Okay. So considering that this particular SDLC process, we need to get implement these particular steps. To implement these particular steps, we got taking care about need to get followed that particular respective process. To implement that particular process, it will be taking with the help of SDLC models here. As part of SDLC models, we need to get taking care about and having with waterfall model and then considering the V model. After that, need to get mentioning the agile. It's not like only these three models. We got other models also available, but as part of our requirement, we have been taking care about having with these models here. When you are working in real time, you may work on waterfall model or V model or agile model. Any model you are working, your testing concepts will be the same. Because of this particular waterfall model, different testing, and because of taking with V model, different testing, it's not like your testing concepts are different when you're working with each and every model. You may work with waterfall model, you may work with V model, or you may work with agile. Your testing concepts will be the same. We have to take care about, or we have to understand that what exactly that process or the steps need to be followed while working with each and every particular model. Every model it got its own advantages and having its own drawbacks here. Each and every model, it is having its own drawbacks and having its own advantages. Which model need to be applied? It depends on client requirement, or it will depends on that particular project requirement. Based on the client requirement or based on the project requirement, it will be decided that what is the model need to be followed. As simple as previously, as part of SDLC process, we mentioned the kickoff meeting. What is the meaning of kickoff meeting? Meaning of kickoff meeting? Project confirmation. The meaning of kickoff meeting, we need to be get mentioning the project confirmation. At the time of project has been confirming, at that time itself, it will be decided what is the model need to be followed. Based on that particular model, the project manager need to be get coming up with PMP document. Meaning of PMP? Meaning of PMP? Project Management Plan. So this particular project manager, based on that model, he will be coming up with project plan, how that development activities need to be done or how that particular testing activities need to be done. So that is how at the time of kickoff meeting itself, it will be decided that what is the model need to be followed. So as a tester, it can be any model. Your testing concepts will be the same, including development also. Because of any of the model, your development will not be changing. As you are working as a Java developer, if you are working with Waterfall model, it'll continue with Java coding. If you are working with V model, it will be continued with the Java coding. Your development activities, testing activities will be the same. Difference is the way of how we are implementing that will make you the difference here. Let's understand what are the steps need to be followed and what make you advantages and then taking with drawbacks of these particular models here. Okay, right. Let's see that. Let's understand about those particular models in that. What is the first one? What is the first one? Waterfall model. The very first one, we have been taking care about waterfall model. According to this particular waterfall model, taking with the first step. What is the first step? Requirements gathering and then taking with analysis. The very first step we got mentioning that requirements gathering and then taking with analysis. After that, what is the next step? Considering the design. After that, it will be taking with coding. After that, need to be get considering the testing. So while working this particular waterfall model, we need to be get taking care about in implementing these particular steps here. Once we done this particular testing activity, taking with the last step. What is the last step need to be done? What is it? Live environment, or we can considering the production. Okay. As simple as while working any model, steps will be the same. Development, common thing. testing activities, same thing need to be followed. The way of how you are implementing that, it will make you the difference here. As simple as, if we consider this particular waterfall model, you can consider that waterfall model is the very first model introduced in IT industry. I mean, the day of IT market has been available, from that particular day, this particular waterfall model has been available. As simple as we can say that waterfall model is the very first model introduced in IT. The day one of IT market has been started. From that particular day, waterfall model has been available. But any model, it got its own advantages and having its own drawbacks. What make you drawbacks of waterfall model and what make you advantages of waterfall model? Let's see that. Let's understand. In that, let me take care about drawbacks here. If we get considering drawback of waterfall model, the very first drawback, see the concept. The very first drawback is, let's consider developer. What developer has to do? In general, what developer has to do? What need to be done? Coding need to be done. What tester need to be done? What tester need to be done? Testing. Developer has to be taking care about doing the coding. Tester has to be taking care about doing the testing. Okay. Now, see the concept here. Assume that you are working in the real time as a developer or tester, whatever it can be. Project has been confirmed. The kickoff meeting has been done. Project has been confirmed. Project manager came with PMP document. HR team recruited developers and they got recruited testers. Now, project confirmed. Developers are available. Testers has been available. See the concept here. Developers has been going to the office and they are doing their work. What is the work of developer? What is the work of the developer? Coding. They started doing the coding. They are doing their job. Testing team also recruited. Testing team also coming to the office. What testing team need to be done? Testing. But rather than doing the testing, these particular testing team has been started doing the sleeping here. What they are doing? Sleeping. And some people reading the newspaper. I mean in the website, they got open their website, whatever it can be, and started reading the news here. Some testers, what they are doing? What they are doing? Sleeping. Some more testers? As usual, now your guys are sleeping in classroom. Sleeping or not? Some people started. Yes, sir, very perfect. Don't sleep in the classrooms. I can understand that this timing is too hot. I mean, it will demand you for sleeping here. But you came for learning. That too, you came for which training? Testing you came for here. Sleeping also testing you guys here. Whether you can control or not, that is also testing here. Don't sleep in the classrooms. Online students are started sleeping. Offline students are already started here. Online students are available or not? At least they can respond yes or no. All the online students can respond in the chat window. All the online students, don't go for sleeping or any other things here. You need to wait in the class. Okay, right. Very active, very perfect. Okay, done. But in sleeping also they are responding, guys. That is what you have to understand. Okay, done. Perfect then. So see the understanding. So we got development team, we got testing team. What development team has been doing? Those guys are going to the office, very serious people, developers here. And then they are doing the coding activities very seriously here. But testing people going to the office, but what they are doing here? Really they will sleep it because of waterfall model. The reason is as simple as the concept of waterfall model is, according to the concept of waterfall model, until unless development activity is not completed, until unless development activity is not completed, they cannot go with the testing here. Because of that, as part of process of waterfall model, see the understanding. As part of process of waterfall model, till the time of development is not completed, testers are not having any work for doing. As the human beings, if there is no work, what they will do? Only one work. What is it? Sleeping here. So that is how testers will started sleeping in the IT office, that too taking the salary here. In case of waterfall model. Okay, not all the models here. In case of waterfall model, your whole understanding. Not like only development testing. See the understanding. According to process of waterfall model, one particular phase has to be totally completed, then only we need to start with next phase. As simple as, until unless requirements are not done, we cannot go with design. Until unless design is not done, we cannot go with coding. Until unless coding is not done, we cannot go with testing. Until unless testing is not done, we cannot go with live environment or production. So that is how this waterfall model has been came into the picture. The very first drawback of waterfall model, the very first drawback of waterfall model, one phase has to be totally completed, then only need to start with next phase. As simple as, till the time of requirements are not done, we cannot go with the design. Till the time of design is not done, we cannot go with coding. Till the time of coding is not done, we cannot go with testing. One part has to be totally completed, then only we can start with next phase. As simple as step by step. In a very simple understanding, we can mention the step by step. So the main drawback and the very first drawback of waterfall model. What is the first drawback? Drawback. One phase has to be totally completed, then only need to start with next phase. Okay. What you can do is make a note of the points. Yesterday you are already done the steps. Done? Done or not? Mention that next heading is drawbacks. Online students also have a subheading is drawbacks and then make a note of the drawbacks. Have a subheading is drawbacks and make a note of the drawbacks. Take the first drawback. Take the first drawback. One phase has to be totally completed. One phase has to be totally completed. Okay. One phase has to be totally completed. Give the comma symbol and continue the statement. Give the comma symbol and continue the statement. Mention that one phase has to be totally completed, then only need to start with next phase. Then only need to start with next phase. Then only need to start with next phase. Within a brackets, step by step. Within a brackets, step by step. Step by step. Close the bracket. Take another drawback. Take another drawback. Take the drawback. Any major issues. Any major issues has been identified. Any major issues has been identified. Any major issues has been identified. Need to start from first phase. Any major issues has been identified. Need to start from first phase. Need to start from first phase. Take the next drawback. Take the next drawback. Time consuming. Next drawback is time consuming or time taking. Time consuming or time taking. Time consuming or time taking. Okay. Next. Take another heading is advantages. Take another heading is advantages. Previously, what is the heading you done? Drawbacks. Now what is the heading? Advantages. Take the heading is advantages and then write the first one. Take the first advantage. Take the first advantage. First advantage is small kind of projects. Small kind of projects. First advantage is small kind of projects. Okay. Take the second advantage. Take the second advantage. Requirements will be provided. Requirements will be provided in a very detailed way. Requirements will be provided in a very detailed way. Requirements will be provided in a very detailed way. Take another advantage. Take another advantage. Further enhancements. Further enhancements. Further enhancements will not be provided. Further enhancements will not be provided. Further enhancements will not be provided. Okay, right. Let's understand. As simple as, not like you are making any programming coding related to this one. Just we have to aware of that. What is mean by that particular model? What make you advantages and what make you the drawback? Considering with the drawback, first drawback. What is the first drawback we got? One phase has to be totally completed. Then only need to start with next phase. In a simple way, what we can mention? Step by step. One step has to be completed. After that, you have to take with another step. Still, if you want to understand in a more simple way, you guys are very well knowing about waterfalls here. Knowing about waterfalls? Knowing or not? What is the meaning of waterfalls? Waterfall is waterfall, sir. Oh, very perfect. You guys are developers only. This waterfall, how the flow will be done? What is the flow of the waterfall? Top to bottom, right? If we considering with the waterfall, the flow has to be done from top to bottom. In the top, water has to be available. In case in the top, if water is not available, is that it is coming to down? No. At any cost in the top, water has to be available. Then it will be coming to the down here. That is what your name has been mentioned. What is the name here? Waterfall model. So the meaning is, as part of this waterfall model, first one particular step has to be completed. Then only it will come to the next step. Until unless this step has been not done, it will not come to the next step. That is what it is clearly mentioned. The main drawback of this particular waterfall model, in a very simple way, we can mention that step by step. One particular phase has to be totally completed. Then only we need to get start with next phase. That is one main drawback and the very first drawback of waterfall. Okay. What is the second drawback you written? Any major issue. See the terminology. Not like all the issues here. It is clearly mentioning that in case of any major issue has been identified. In case of any major issue has been identified, it's need to be get started. It's need to be get started from very first phase. Assume that tester has been doing the testing or developer has been doing the coding. When he was doing with the coding, on which basis coding will be done? Based on design, or you can consider based on the requirement document. In the requirement, as he was developing the application, he identified some issue as part of that requirement. If he got identified, it's not like immediately developer is informing to the design team will update the requirement and they'll continue the coding. It's not like that. The meaning is this particular person, as part of waterfall model, any major issues has been identified. Again, it has to be get started from first phase here. That means it has to be come to the requirement. In case of any major issue has been identified, always it's need to be get started from first phase. As simple as the very simple understanding. You guys are staying in hostels or rooms. Staying or not? In hostel, either you are available in first floor or ground floor, whatever it can be. Water will not be coming. What you will do? Which floor will be going? Top floor. Because in the top floor, what is available? Water tank is there. Any floor water is not available. First, what you will do? You'll go for top floor and then you are cross-checking that water has been available or not. Same concept here. While working with the waterfall model also, in case of any phase, if issues are there, major issues, not like regular things. In case of any major issues are there, it's need to be get started from very first particular phase. That is what we will be considering the second drawback. So first drawback, step by step. Second drawback, any major issues has been identified, need to be get started from first phase here. What is the third one? What is the third one you written? Time consuming or time taking. As it was getting started from the first phase, obviously it will be taking with the more time to complete that particular project. Because of that, you guys can cross-check in a very starting days. When you are working this particular IT market, in a very starting days, you will be able to see that to complete a very small project also, it will be taking with the more time here. So that is what we got in a drawbacks while working this particular waterfall model. At the same time, we got advantages. Every model, it got its own advantages and then having its own drawbacks here. As simple as considering with the drawbacks. What is the first drawback we got? Hello? Nani, water bottle this kara. Water bottle. What is the first drawback we got? As simple as we can mention that step by step. That is the first drawback. See the understanding. Any model, concepts are same. But particularly if you are working with the waterfall model, development activities, testing activities, or any activity need to be done one by one. First, one activity has to be completed. After that, you will be taking with another activity. As simple as you guys has been doing the training program, core Java, advanced Java. Is it both the things you are doing that together? No, right. First, what you are completing? Core Java. After that, you are taking advanced Java. That is what your waterfall here. Now, some people, core Java already doing. Parallelly, you are doing with testing also. The way of you are doing that process will make you the difference here. So, while working with the waterfall model, according to the concept of waterfall model, all the things need to be done by step. This is one drawback. Second drawback, any issues identified need to start from first phase. Third drawback, time consuming or time taking. Okay. In a similar way, we need to be having with advantages. What is the first advantage written? What is it? What is it? Small kind of projects. Don't be confused here. The reason we are saying that is an advantage. Why we are mentioning small kind of project is the advantage is, if the project is very small, it will make you more comfortable, more easy to understand. Because if the project is very small project, it will have very less requirements will be there. In case of requirements are very less, it will make you more comfortable to understand that requirement. If you are more comfortable in understanding the requirement, it will become easy to develop and it will become easy to test it. That is what we will consider first advantage. So what is the first advantage? Small kind of project. Meaning is, if the project is very small, it will make you more comfortable to understand the requirement. If you are clear about requirement, it will make you more easy to understand. If you are understanding in an easy way, we can easily develop, we can easily test it. That is the first advantage. What is the second advantage? Requirements will be provided. Requirements will be provided in a very detailed way. Meaning is, as the requirements provided in a very clear, each and every requirement, it is clearly mentioned that what kind of functionalities need to be tested. If all the information is provided, it will make you more comfortable to understand. Assume that requirements are not provided in a very correct way, it will make you a lot of confusion. It will make you difficult to develop and it will make you difficult to test also. But according to the process, according to the standards of waterfall model, requirements will be provided in a very detailed way. By that, it will make you easy to develop and it will make you easy to test it. So that is what your second advantage. What is the third one? What is the third one? Further enhancements. Further enhancements will not be provided. As simple as you guys are very well knowing about this particular text file, this application. Consider this notepad application. As simple as the day you started using this notepad application, the day you guys has been started using this notepad application, did you guys see any updates in this application? Did you see any enhancement in this application? See the very simple understanding. The day of this notepad application introduced into the market, till today, there is no enhancement. I mean, enhancements means updates, new features. Means when you're working in the real time, you will be having some applications, whereas you will not have any further enhancement or you will not be having any updates. Moreover, the projects which are implementing in this particular waterfall model, you will not be having any enhancements here. That is what we will be taking with advantages of waterfall model. The projects which has been implemented in waterfall model, you can consider that it will not have any enhancement. If there is no enhancements, that is one-time activity. One time it will develop whole thing, it will be tested and releasing it completed. So that is how we used to be get mentioning about waterfall model. So while working waterfall model, we got advantage. What is the first advantage? What is the first advantage? Small kind of project. What is the second one? Requirements will be provided in very detailed way. What is the last one? Further enhancements will not be provided. So this is what we will be mentioning about taking with waterfall model, drawbacks, and then taking with advantages. So while you guys has been attending with the interviews, it can be developer interview or tester interview. You need to be get aware of that. What is mean by SDLC? What are that models? What make you advantages of waterfall model and what make you drawbacks of this particular waterfall model. So practical, it's not like anything you are doing it. How to do the coding, you are already knowing. How to do the testing, that you will understand. But as part of this waterfall, you guys need to be taking care about the steps to be followed and what make you advantages and then taking with drawbacks here. Okay. Now, in a similar way, the drawbacks we got in waterfall model. The drawbacks we got in waterfall model, it got overcome in V model. One is waterfall model. What is another one? What is another one? V model. Take a heading of that. Have a heading is V model or verification and validation model. Have a heading is V model or verification and validation model. Okay. Have a heading is V model or verification and validation model. Okay. See the understanding now. We can consider that V model. That is one name. What is another name? What is another name? Verification and validation. One is verification, another one considering the validation. See that. As simple as verification done by developer, validation done by tester. So verification done by the developer, validation done by the tester. Now, while working V model, again, it is having its own advantages and having its own drawbacks here. Any model, you may work with any model, it is having its own advantages and having its own drawbacks here. As simple as, let's understand advantages. See the drawback of waterfall model. What is the first drawback of waterfall model? First drawback of waterfall model. Step by step, considering that developer has to be completed his work, then only tester need to be get started his activity. Until unless developer is not completed his work, tester cannot be started. In case of waterfall model, when developer is doing the development activity, considering with the tester, what tester is doing? What tester is doing? Sleeping here. In case of waterfall model. Now what is the model we got? What is the model we got? V model. Once V model introduced in the market, once V model introduced in the market, for the testers, golden days completed. Because no sleeping here. Because V model, according to the V model, from day one, developer will start his development activity. At the same time, from day one, tester also need to start the testing activity. No sleeping, no newspaper here. Because of V model, from the day one, developer need to start his work and tester also need to start his work. So the very first advantage of V model, the very first advantage of V model, considering that development activities and testing activities can be started from day one of the project. Development activity and testing activities can be started from day one of the project. According to the V model, from day one, whenever project started, developer need to start his work and tester also need to get started his particular work. This is what we got in a first advantage here. Make a note of that. Make a heading is advantages. Having a heading is advantages. Having a heading is advantages. Take the first advantage. Take the first advantage. Development activities. Development activities. Development activities and testing activities. Development activities and testing activities will be started from day one of the project. Development activities, testing activities. The last person, why you are not writing? Here is your notebook. Then why you are not writing? Pen is not working. Today is the first session. No, right? I can remember the faces. All you guys, once I done it, your faces will be fixed in my hard disk. If you come after 20 years also, I'll remember. Your names I can't remember. But all my students, once I have been seen in the classroom, means in the hard disk, it will be fixed here. I can easily remember who are coming to the sessions, who are not coming to the sessions. Little bit need to be careful with my training program. And once I started with the training of any batch, I'll take the feedback how we are doing it. I mean technical feedback and your way of behavior in the classrooms also. I got the feedback that you guys are doing some misbehavior in the classrooms. Please take care of it. Because it's not like only your batch. Whatever the batch I will be dealing it, I'll be getting with all the information. That is what my training style will be going on. Because once you are training with under me, under Suresh, little bit need to be careful. Careful means your way of behavior need to be changed it, and you guys also will be changing it. How many hours you guys are sleeping? How many hours you guys are sleeping? 10 hours, 8 hours you are sleeping, Then? 4 hours, That is the reason 2 hours again in the classroom here. In general, all my students who has been trained under Suresh sir, I'll be suggesting that to sleep only for, no, not 5 hours, 6 hours. Okay. I will be always informing to that the one who has been trained under me, making a habit of sleeping only for 6 hours, at least till the time of you are getting with the job. After getting in a job, that is a different. Try to change with the little bit behaviors once I started with my training programs here. So at least till the time of your training program is going on, try for to sleep only for 6 hours. I'm not asking the total 24 hours you have to read it. You can do whatever the activities you can do, but take with the plan in a very perfect way. Per day, how many hours? 26. 28. Per day, how many hours? 24 hours. 24 hours is not like in a very small time here. The time you need to be get utilized in a very proper way, definitely your life will be changing it. I mean, that plan need to be done in a very proper way. Don't get waste with the time with unnecessary activities here. Making a plan in a proper way. See that having your sleeping hours only for at least only for 6 hours. Not required more than 6 hours, guys. For your body, 6 hours is more enough. You never require more than 6 hours. And don't worry that, sir, I'm getting WhatsApp messages saying that sleep for 8 hours here. Don't see that kind of WhatsApp messages or Facebook, whatever it may be. You never get any health problem by sleeping for 6 hours. I'll give the guarantee on that. No doubt at all. Because that is what I'll be doing it. And I will not be sleeping for 6 hours also. That has been reduced to 5 hours only. So from very long back. Don't worry about your health problems or anything. Plan for 6 hours sleeping. Remaining hours, what need to be done, take the plan in a correct way. That too I can understand. Not most of. All you guys are attending multiple trainings, right? Training or not? As you are attending the multiple trainings, don't get confusion with by taking the multiple trainings here. See the practice, how it will be done in the perfect way. Because now the current IT market is in a very peak level. I mean, the salaries wise, openings wise, it's a very good market is going on. Especially IT market is running in a very good way. Try to utilize these opportunities. It will make you more comfortable and it will make you more easy. In this current situation, getting in a job is not at all difficult. It can be developer, it can be tester, any job in the IT, getting in a job is not at all difficult. But it depends on how you guys are taking with the plan here. See that how we are doing it. So from today, how many hours you will sleep? 6 hours, sir. Pakka. Confirm. 2 hours again classroom, sir. Not like that, but see that how you can manage it. Okay. But once you guys has been enter into this building, please see that you have been enter into the building, your behavior should be changed. Outside that is okay, that is different. But once you came to the classrooms means you have to give some value from the classrooms. Okay. So what is the point written? Development activities and testing activities will be started from day 1 of the project. Okay. Take the second advantage. Possibility of identifying the issues. Possibility of identifying the issues in starting stages. Possibility of identifying the issues in starting stages within a brackets as early as possible, as early as possible, within a brackets as early as possible. Take another heading. What is another heading? What is it? Drawbacks. Take another heading is drawbacks. Have another heading is drawbacks. Take the first drawback. Take the first drawback. First drawback is dependency on documentation. Dependency on documentation. Dependency on documentation. Okay. Dependency on documentation. Take the next point. Take the next drawback. Take the next drawback. Client need to wait. Client need to wait for more time. Client need to wait for more time to see project visibility, to see project visibility in live environment. In live environment. Okay. In live environment. See the whole statement. Client need to wait for more time to see project visibility in live environment. Okay, let's understand. So first advantage, very simple. The main advantage of V model is developer tester will be started from day one. So tester not required to wait until development activities need to be done. How it will possible? How it will possible to work both the people from day one? That is as simple as developer what need to be done? Coding need to be done. After that, need to take care about code review. After that, taking with unit level testing. After that, which will be taking integration testing. After integration testing, build will be releasing it. That build one, whatever it can be. Now, to perform all these things, this coding, code review, unit level testing, integration testing, to perform all these things, is it in one day it will be done? No, it will take some enough time. Now see the simple understanding. According to the real-time standards, development team is totally different and testing team is totally different here. This particular development team, when they are doing all these activities, it will take some enough time here. By the time of this build is ready, by the time of development team are making ready with the build. What is the meaning of build? Meaning of the build? Executable file or URL. The meaning of build is executable file or URL. So by the time of development team has been ready with the build, this particular testing team or this particular testers, they have to take care about doing the first activity. What is it? What is the first activity of tester? Requirements understanding. After that, test plan. After that, test scenarios. After that, test cases. So as simple as by the time of development team has been ready with the build. These people has to be perform this. When development team is working on this activity, testing team also doing with the activity of performing these things here. By the time of development team has been ready with the build one, testing team will be ready with test cases. Now developer completed the build one. That build one given to the testing team for testing. So testing team from the day one they are working. Already they are ready with the test cases. Once build one has been provided, immediately they will be started in taking care about doing this particular test execution. While doing the test execution, they will be taking care about doing with bug reporting here. So as simple as taking this particular test execution, at the time of testing team is working on execution, development team will ready with another build. Again build 2 provided, build 2 will be doing the testing by the testing team, development team will start working on build 3. So like that, till the time of that project has been completing, they will come up with multiple builds here. How many builds need to be released? That's totally depends on that project. Based on that project, based on that particular client, it will be continued with multiple builds. Like that, from the day one, developer will be continued his development activity and tester will be continued his testing activity. This is first advantage. What is the second advantage? What is the second advantage? Possibility of identifying the issues in starting stages. The second advantage is we need to be get mentioning about possibility of identifying the issues in starting stages. As simple as the meaning of the statement, developer doing the development activity. On which basis they are doing the development? Based on requirement document. Testing team doing with the testing. On which basis they are doing the testing? Based on requirement document. Is it requirement document is different for developer and tester? No. For developer and tester, requirement document will be the same. Now assume that developer has been referring the requirement document. He was not very clear about some of the point. He can communicate with the tester. So tester, I was referring this requirement. I'm not exactly clear how you got understand this point. Or else, tester is not very clear about the requirement. So tester communicating with developer. And he was asking that, so developer, I'm going through this requirement document, but I'm not very clear about this point. What exactly you got understand? As simple as two different persons, developer, tester are different. Two different persons referring with the same requirement document, there is a chance of understanding in a more better way. Rather than only one person is referring, when two persons are referring the same document, definitely there are any chances are there to understand in a more better way. Once they got understand in a more better way, there is a possibility, not like mandatory. What is the second point you written? Possibility, not like mandatory here. There is a possibility to identify the issues in starting stages. Meaning of the starting stages? What is the meaning of starting stages? As early as possible. Because we are considered as a tester. As a tester, not like all the things we cannot identify in one day. That is not at all possible. But at least once you are referring with the requirement document, we need to be taking care about in seeing that. You need to be taking care about in identifying the maximum issues in the starting stages. That is what we got in advantages. So these two are, you are considering the advantages of V model. So what is the first advantage? First advantage, development activities, testing activities can be started from day one of the project. Second advantage, possibility of identifying the issues in starting stages. Okay. In a similar way, we got a drawback. What is the first drawback you written? Dependency on documentation. Meaning of that statement is according to the V model, it's mandatory that requirement documents has to be available. Without having the requirement document, we cannot go with development activity and we cannot go with the testing activity. You may get in a doubt, sir, any model requirements are mandatory, but that you will understand when you compare with Agile here. But considering that the main drawback of V model, we need to be mentioning that dependency on documentation. As simple as without having the requirement document, we cannot go with development and we cannot go with testing. That is the first drawback. And we got second drawback that we look into that. Now, the drawbacks we got in waterfall model, it got overcome in V model. The drawbacks we got in V model, it got overcome in Agile here. So waterfall model, V model, and then Agile. These three models need to be more comfortable while attending with the interviews. 100% will get in questions related to these particular models. Along with these things, Agile is the most important one. Need to be understand. That I'll take tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll explain the second drawback. It will take any time. So tomorrow I'll explain the second drawback of V model. Then from tomorrow we'll start with the Agile. So again I'm saying that Agile is the very most important one in this current industry. Waterfall model, V model, okay. But maximum of all IT projects will implemented in Agile only. So that will start from tomorrow. Once Agile is done, what is the next one? Getting started with our project. Once Agile model is done, then we'll take the project and we'll understand that how we can get implemented all the testing activity. In the meanwhile, check care about these particular concepts. Okay? Clear? And please take care about the behavior in the classrooms here. Okay? Carry on. Thank you.